Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in RC. Tonight, we're going to focus on the big show, the RC Chili Bowl coming up. But before we do that, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff. For me, I was able to spend a lot of time with family. Went way up north Wisconsin where we had a ton of snow. Got to do a little snowmobiling and Christmasing with my family and granddaughter, and yeah, we had a great time. So hopefully you folks also around the world, wherever you are, had a good holiday and ready to take on 2023. It's got to be better than the last couple of years, right? 2022 was just the kind of return back to the normal, and now 2023 ready to go. And our first event is the RC Chili Bowl, something we look forward to each and every year. But before we do that, I want to kind of chime into the chat here, see who we got. Who's the first name I see? Buck. What's up, Buck? How are you? Roger Hollingworth, Larry Henning, Beavis. What's up, Justin? Craig Boots going to be there. I knew Jared Crumrine was going to be there. Travis, our dirt god, he is ready. He's locked and loaded. Give us the best track we've ever had. My goodness, we got a lot of people on here. What do we got? 120 already. Well, welcome, everyone. Good to have you follow along. We're going to try something a little bit different for this year's Chili Bowl leading up to it. Time is always such a factor at the RC Chili Bowl, where we want to get as much track time as we can. We want to have more practice, even though we're there for so many days. What does everybody ask for? They want more practice, right? So we're going to try something. We're going to try to do the drivers meeting now during this little chat session. Then we can put the video up on Facebook so people can watch it. We're going to cover all the major rules and stuff like that, talk about it. I'll let you guys ask some questions and things like that, like if we're at a driver meeting. But this is going to save us, 45 minutes come Tuesday. And what does that give us? 45 minutes more track time, right? Exactly. So that's the plan of this. I don't know. This might crash and burn. It might not work. I don't know, but we're going to give it a shot. So that is the plan going here. Hey, Will, how are you? Otto, how are you? My goodness, there's so many. Lynn Curl, what's up, Lynn? Hope you're doing well. Bobby Bozart, good to have you following along. I'm trying to scroll through here. Driver, Scott Error, it's on here. Jamie, BJ. Yeah, Buck, the B team is there. Shane Wheeler's online. Roger Hollingsworth, Nick DeAngelis, going to have Big Nick going to be joining us. Going to have you there. Tim McNutt, our tech master. Talk a little bit about Tim a little bit here after we get in. So again, we welcome everybody. Thanks for chiming in and joining us here. Said we want to talk about the RC Chili Bowl, which is coming up quickly here, just a few days. I'm going to be heading down on Thursday, try to get ready, meet our team down there to get things ready. And show starts on Monday. So a little bit of talk about this year's event. First, we want to thank out our sponsors. Each and every year, we get more and more sponsors that make it possible for us to bring you the big show. And this year is no exception. Who's who in the industry, all supporting it to allow us to give you guys pretty much the world championships of Dirt Oval. And we want to thank them. We want to thank Custom Works. Want to thank GFRP, Wits Racing, McAllister, 5-Star Hobbies, Hobby Wing, Trackside Hobbies, and Spectrum. All those folks are being our primary sponsors. We want to thank Power Products, DE Racing, No Limit Graphics, J Concepts, Proline, TLR, Boca Bearing, A-Main Hobbies, ProTech RC, Motive, BeachRC.com, and Gravity RC. Also want to thank The Graphic Shop, Trinity, MR Customs, Papa Willie's, Shark Bodies, R1, Midtown Rentals, RC Fun Time, Donathan RC, Dynotech, CNC Race Products, Tekin, SXT, and Inertia Screws. Also want to thank Live RC, Live Time, 2mm Design, who designs all our cool banners. Big shout out to Toasty, Stick It One Racing, and MX Trophies. They're the ones that make our own version of the golden driller that everybody wants. So a big thanks to all those companies. Without them, this wouldn't be possible to give you guys such a epic race. Now going into our 9th year. Hard to believe that 8 years has gone that quick from the first chance we had to be involved and took what Scott Butts had built up and tried to take it to another level. And now, like I said, it's pretty much the world championship. If you win a class at the RC Chili Bowl, you're definitely there's no shame in being addressed as world champ, because it's legit. It's the biggest race in the world. See if I can scroll through any new names popping in. How you doing, Mike? Jeff, good to have you following along. Kevin Fry, Brian Hone, how are you? So to start off our little driver's meeting here, we right now entries, I think we're about 570, and we're going to lose some, gain some here as guys change classes, drop out, things like that. Had a couple guys drop out today just for family situations and things like that. One from work, one the dog in the family got terribly ill, and for those of us that are dog lovers, that's they're part of the family, so they're not able to join us. So we'll probably end up being right around 550 or something like that. Very similar to what we had last year, so it's manageable. The program that we're going to do, first of all, everything is on the event website. If you go to rcchilibowl.com, and then all the schedule, rules, everything like that are all listed there, and you can find out all the rules and things like that. And if you have questions and things like that, we're going to try to cover most of the major ones, but everything is right there for everybody to go and peruse, if you would. And just talks about the part numbers for the tires. By now, everybody's got tires and things like that, but all the basics and things like that. The big change for this year is we've altered the schedule a little bit, and that's something that we want to talk about. So, as I mentioned, everybody wants a little bit more practice, and the days get very long and things like that. So, talking to our team, we kind of put our heads together after last year, and what we're going to do is every morning we had a morning practice session. What we're going to do, we're going to move that to the evening. So we're going to open up at 7, then we're going to start racing, seating, whatever it is, at 8 a.m. So there'll be no morning practice. What that's going to do is that is going to save us 2, maybe more hours, because then we don't have to do a rebuild in the morning also after the practice. That is going to give us more time at the conclusion of racing in that day to get practice, whether it be 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, who knows? Really depends how the day goes. But our thinking is to give more practice at the end, and also the people that are maybe in the later divisions or later heats in the running order, they don't have to get up so early in the morning to be there for that practice session. So each year we try something different, find out what works, what you, the racers, enjoy the best, to try to make the program run it smooth. So that's our plan for this year. Again, move that morning practice to the evening, and hopefully it'll allow us to give us more practice for everybody each evening as we lead into the mains. So Tuesday is going to be Monday morning, we're going to start loading in at 9. Our sponsors can load in Sunday evening from 3 to 7, but that does not mean general public, if you're there, come in. We still have a lot of work to do. So if you're not in the inner circle of the sponsors, please, everybody, I know everybody's going to want to come in and check things out, but please, it's too hard. If we're all of a sudden we got 100 people in there trying to do things, not going to do it. You're not going to be able to sneak in and claim your spot, things like that. We try to make it as fair as possible so our sponsors can get in and set up Sunday. Again, with the whole mindset of moving, instead of 12 or 11 o'clock load in for the races, we're going to move that to 9 so everybody can get in earlier Monday and get us more practice on Monday evening. So we're going to have 3 or 4 hours of practice on Monday after the load in and everything like that. So also starting by 9 o'clock with load in, hopefully we'll get that done in about an hour, hour and a half. Then we can get registration going. We can get everybody checked in, get transponder numbers, things like that. So when we go live for practice, we'll have most of those in there, because I'm sure all you guys have sent your transponders and signed up with your transponders, right? The only guy I got an email from, Mike Cressley, he's the man. every year, the week before, says, Scotty, hey, I just want to give you my dad's transponder numbers. He's the man. He sends transponder numbers the week before each and every year. So tip of the hat to Mike Cressley. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So if you guys want to send me your transponder numbers now, you can do that. Just Scotty Ernst Gmail. Transponder numbers, I'll get them in. It'll just make things flow way better. At least that's the hope anyway. So Monday is load in 9 o'clock. Same with trailers. For those racers that are bringing a trailer, things like that, hopefully you've emailed us. If you haven't, please send me an email at scottyernst@gmail.com with your name and the size of your trailer. We have 16 feet is the max trailer that we can do. You'll be pitting in the Explorer barn right next to it. It worked out great last year. It's only, 30 steps away from the racetrack, but allows for anybody that wants to bring a trailer can. If you've been with us through the years, you know that we're getting more and more trailers, and we just didn't have enough room for everything in the Mustang arena. So we used the Explorer barn next door, and it worked out really well. Those of you who were there and know about it, if it's your first time bringing a trailer, there is no, the building is 3/4 enclosed. There still is a open vestibule to it. So if you're in a trailer, you might need to bring a heater or something like that. It may get chilly at night, but please do that. There's electrical drops, so there'll be plenty of electricity for everybody with the trailers. It's $100 to bring a trailer in. Again, send me an email, and we'll get you on the trailer list, and we'll have trailer load in Monday morning also. Registration, when you do that, please bring your transponder number, stuff like that. It'll just help us get everything in during registration. During registration, drivers that are in the non-wing, you'll also be getting the motors. We got a kind of cool update as things progress and stuff like that. Hobby Wing is giving us their newest version, the V10 motor. It's the G4R. So we are getting their latest, greatest new motor is what we're going to be using for the non-wing division. It's their brand new motor. So that's what you're going to be getting for the non-wing. Tuesday morning, open up at 7. Pretty much every day we're opening at 7. Going to start at 8, except on main day. On Saturday, we'll start at 7:30. But open at 7, and then seating will start at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Seating is 3-minute heats, 1 minute in between. And we take your fastest 5 average laps. So the average takes your fastest 5 laps to get an average, and that becomes your seed time. That's what we use to set the heats, and then also used for the tiebreaker. This is something we took some feedback from the racers here over the years, and the great guys at Live Time Scoring kind of wrote in some software for us for last year's event, and it worked out really well. So again, the seating we will look at in your 3 minutes. The computer will take your fastest 5 laps, get an average, and that time will be your seed time that we use throughout the course of the event. Again, the seed time sets the heats, and the heat setup is a bit different. If you've never been there, it's not your traditional seating for heats. If you're, let's say we have 100 guys in a class, like sprint car, we're going to have close to 100. If you're TQ after seating, you're going to be first in heat 1. Second fastest in seating is going to be first in heat 2. Third fastest seating, first in heat 3, heat 4, and so on until you got 10. And then 11th quick will be second in heat 1. 12th quick, second in heat 2. 13th quick, second in heat 3, and so on. So you'll have like first, 11, 22nd, and so on through the heat races. Heat races are just like we run this race as close to the real thing as we can. Heat races, the goal is to win your heat race, and you're in a point. And second place, 2 points. Third place, 3 points. After 3 rounds of qualifying, and we take your points that you earn in your heat races, and the drivers with the lowest point total set the main. We'll take 6. We'll lock into the features, and then we will bump from the mains, the B mains and C mains and so on. We bump 2, so to give us a 10-car field. Everybody in the A main gets an award. I know there were a couple guys that left early last year, so if you make the A, you're getting an award. We got beautiful trophies from MX Trophies. They do a wonderful job each and every year, and we'll have trophies and feature winners all the winners of the lower features, you also get a nice plaque from MX Trophies that we'll present to you after your heat race or after your feature. Wednesday is first round of qualifying, open at 7, race at 8. And then whatever time we got left afterwards, we're going to have practice. Same for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Open at 7, qualifying round 3 starts at 8. And then after that, then we will run some lower mains. And then Saturday, doors open at 7. We're going to start at 7:30, try to get us a half hour. And we're going to run through the mains throughout Saturday. And we're going to run till they're done and crown our champions at the end. So that's pretty much schedules on the schedule page on rcchilibowl.com. So you can go to that and check that out. See if there's any questions regarding the schedule. Anybody got? Nick DeAngelo's, all 3 rounds count. So that's a very good question. All 3 count. Garrett, yeah, I think Alfie uses our system that we do. Matt Del Judas, how are you? Long time no see. Look forward to seeing you there at that race. Looks like trying to see if there are any questions that I see. Nope. So that's what we got so far for the format. When you come into the Chili Bowl, electricity is available. We have drops located around the venue. You need to bring an extension cord, 50 or 100 footer, power strips, tables and chairs are rentable. You can rent them. Tables are $10. Chairs are $5 if you want to rent them. If you can't bring your own, things like that, we have plenty of them on hand to do. During registration, you're going to get a T-shirt. Everybody that signed up gets a T-shirt. You signed up before the deadline. We got goodie bags. A lot of our sponsors give us some stuff to give to the racers. Get your raffle ticket. We have a wonderful raffle, and every entry that you do gets a free raffle ticket. You can purchase additional ones if you would like. We always have just tons of stuff, bunch of car kits, giveaway, radios and batteries and motors and lines and tigers and bears. Oh my, a little bit of everything. So the RC Chili Bowl raffle has grown to be something pretty awesome. So everybody gets, like I said, you get tickets with your entry, and then you can purchase additional ones if you wish. Class order. Class order is always something I get questions about all the time. And I want to give everybody kind of a rundown of what we're planning to do. Last year worked out really well for the way that we had the classes in qualifying. Street stock starts it out, then non-wing, then Midwest modified, master sprint, late model, outlaw, SEB mod, and SC modified. Now within there, those are the track rebuilds also within those. And that'll be right on the heat sheet. So there'll be no question when it is. And we're going to keep them the same throughout qualifying. And and for the mains, there will be a rebuild before the A's. I had to make a decision last year based on weather and time and things like that. And it was a wrong decision. I take the bullet for that one. But you learn from your mistakes. And I apologize for the guys that really were affected by that. But regardless of time, regardless of weather, we're going to stick with our schedule on the rebuilds. So we have a rebuild scheduled. I think it was before the B's that we did. And we didn't do the ones before the A's, but we will do the rebuild before the A's. We have 8 divisions. So there'll be 8 races on the fresh rebuild. Street stock will be the first main up, non-wing. They're always on a new heavy track. So you guys will have that. So, like I said, that will be factored in. It'll be right on the heat sheet, so you'll be able to see when it's done. We did a seating. We got that. All the tires are all broken down and explained well in detail on the rules page of what we're using. New this year, J Concepts Sprinters. Big shout out to J Concepts. Thanks to them for supporting RC Chili Bowl for many years. We'll be using sprinters in street stock, master sprint, and outlaw. We'll be using Proline hole shots and late model and Midwest modified, and DE tires in the SE mod and B mod, and in the non-wing classes will also be on DE tires. So big thanks to all them companies for continuing the support of the Chili Bowl. And the control tire format has worked out really, really well. And I'm excited to run the new tires, having the JC Sprinters in the two biggest classes with the Outlaw and Masters division. Couple things I want to touch base on. For those of you guys that have been there before, our tech crew is they hold the ship together. Trey Ford and Tim McNutt, they are our aces and keep the show rolling. Unfortunately, Trey has some health problems, and he called me this week, and he's unfortunately not going to be able to be with us this year. So our thoughts and prayers go out with Trey. He's been our ace in hole for many, many years. I think this is his maybe 5th, 6th year, him working it. So he's not going to be able to join us. But Tim, who's worked with Trey now, I think 4 years, he's going to be taking the lead. Greg, who helps us out, he's going to be helping us out. So as you come into tech, you won't see Trey's smiling face, but our thoughts are with you, and hope you get well soon. So Tim will be taking the lead in doing that. Couple things we're going to do different in tech. Monday. Always a crazy day. Load in, registration, everybody teching cars. It can get crazy. So talking to our team, we're going to do something a little bit different that should make your experience going through tech on Monday much better. We're going to run tech by class order. So when we open up pre-tech on Monday, we'll start with street stock. There's, 70, 80 guys in street stock. All the street stock cars are going to come through. Then after that, we're going to call up non-wing. And we're going to do that throughout the course of the class of the order. The reason we're doing this is because when a driver comes up, we have 80 people. Everybody comes up with 3 cars. Excuse me. Our tech guys, they're tech and sprint. Now you put a SC mod down. Now they have to put those gauges down, set up the SC mod station, and that takes, 20, 30 seconds. We take 20, 30 seconds times 300 and some people, you add hours to the line. So this way, during when we open street stock, boom, you got a street stock car, come on up. Then we're going to check the street stock, then non-wing, and then just move through. That way, it should flow much, much better. Have less time that you have to stand in line because somebody's not going to be teching 3 cars. It'll only be 1 at a time. It'll definitely make it easier for you, the racer, easier on our tech crew, and just make what we hope a more positive experience on Monday because it's always crazy. And we try to get this done here before the track opens in the afternoon, late afternoon for practice. So that's the plan. Again, each year we try something. At the end of every year, our team gets together. We say, hey, what worked, what didn't? Talk to the racers, what your frustrations or complaints or what'd you like, things like that. And we try to implement them the next year. So that's our goal with this. So again, on Monday, when you come to pre-tech, when the track's closed, everybody comes up to kind of check your cars early. We'll do it by class order, and we'll make announcements and things like that. So it'll hopefully run much smoother to plan. Pat McCracken's on here. Pat's the master of the Mustang Arena. He works there at the Expo Square, and he makes sure we get the good dirt and sets us up really well. So thank you. All right, so that's our pre-tech. A couple new things that have come up a little bit. Something we implemented last year, but we're going to absolutely make sure everybody knows about it. When you come up for practice from racing, your tires need to be dry. That's just end of story. When you come to the tech table, your tires need to be dry. Whether you're drying them off in your pits or drying off before you get at the tech table, when they come, they need to be dry. If they're not, if they're soaking wet, you're going to step out of tech and you're going to lose your spot. Okay? It just makes it way better. When we started putting dry tires on the racetrack and not everybody's wet, sloppy tires, track conditions improved 1,000%. So we want to make sure everybody understands, come to tech, dry tires. You can sauce, do whatever you want in your pits, but when you come to tech inspection, please have dry tires. There's been a couple things going around the internet, people talking about rules and things like that. and I just want to address them now. Everybody gets ready for the race. There was a talk last week online about graphite bumpers on like late models and things like that. How they're not allowed and things like that according to the rules. They are going to be allowed. The rule is if you'll need to have a piece of foam, some cushion material or something on the front of that bumper between the body and the graphite bumper to kind of cushion it. So you can use the graphite bumper as long as you have some sort of cushioning material between the body and the bumper, and everything will be allowed. There was also a question about floating body mounts that are out there on the market. They will not be allowed at this year's RC Chili Bowl. So if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. But the floating body mounts will not be allowed at the event this year. When you're out there for practice, a couple years ago, we made a pit lane, and it's worked out great. And that is where you tune your car. Don't pull into the infield and things like that to adjust your radios. Use the pit lane. That's what it's designed for. That's what it's for. So bring it in the pit lane, make your adjustments, and then head back out onto the racetrack. During the race, if you pull your car into the infield and stop, we assume you're done, and your car will stay there. There's no pulling into the infield, making an adjustment, and going back. That only causes problems, and we surely don't want that. So please use the pit lane. A change that we're doing for the mains this year. Normally we run 4 minutes, things like that. We are going to go to lap races and make this as much like real racing as we can. It'll be equivalent to 4 minutes. So whatever the 4 minutes ends up being, 40 laps, 50 laps, whatever it is, we'll know that. But the mains will be run as a lap race. So that's a change that we're going to do. What else we got? Talked about seating, practice. Again, we're going to try to get as much practice as we can in. So do we have any questions pretty much? Best 5 consecutive. Steve, fastest 5 average laps, not consecutive. So if you want to come in, you go out and do, a minute's worth of running, come in, adjust your right rear, go back out. It'll look at your full run and take your 5 fastest laps, create an average, and that will be your seed time. It worked out really well last year instead of just 3 consecutive like we used to run in the past. Again, we talked to the racers and got some feedback from them, and we think this is a more fair time instead of just trying to get 3 back-to-back, which can be tough when you got 10 cars on the track. Looking at your full run, taking your top 5 laps, definitely takes the stress out of it. You can go out and do a couple good laps, make a tune, things like that. So that's a good improvement that we had last year, and we'll be doing that again. Try to see if we got any other questions. Hey, Wolfman, how are you? I can hear you howling. Brian Bullis, we'll collect that when you during load in. Travis will be in charge of the trailer load in, and we'll collect that $100 when you go in to load. Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad you like that. Michael Malgren, where can we not pit at? All the sponsor stuff will be set up already, and then we paint some fire lanes so that there's some walking paths in between the tent, so it's not complete chaos. So everywhere where it's not marked, you'll be able to pit, and just try to keep some fire lanes so we keep the fire marshal happy when he comes in. He always comes in because with the big show going on, they always come out and check us out, make sure we have fire lanes and egress and things like that. So we have to make sure you do that. Any other questions, guys, as you're chiming in? Grant, it really depends how many heats we have and things like that. Hoping to for sure we won't be able to do 3. Won't be able to do 3 for on the seating day, but if everything goes well, we'll be able to get 2 in. Tuesday is always a late night. Trying to get as much time in as we can. But doing this with the drivers meeting like this really is going to save us, almost 45 minutes. So we're sure going to try to get in as much as we possibly can. I pulled up, was looking at some results from last year. We look at last year's street stock. Gary Langworthy Jr. ended up taking a win. Dwayne Gann was second. Brad Noon, third. Scott Earhart was fourth. Troy Alford, 5. Kane Wheeler, Blake, Jason, Richard, and Sajin. That was our street stock. Looking at last year's non-wing, Matt Murphy took the win. Zippy was second. Josh Ray, third. Zach Rose was 4. Brock Champlin is an off-road, carpet off-road, and off-road racer. Did well. Addison, she made a show finish 6. Mike was 7th. Ronnie 8. Matt 9, and Jamie 10. In the Midwest Modified, Justin Draymar took the win. Grant Riles was second. Zach Freeman third. Dustin was in 4. Robert 5. Brendan was 6. Cody 7. Doug 8. Tyler 9. And Max was 10. And Master Sprint, Brian Laurent, he's not going to be able to make it this year. Not going to come defend his title. So we'll have a new champion this year. Eric was second. Darren was third. Stroker Ace not going to be able to make it this year either. Eddie Hill, Josh Wick, Jason, Tim, Tony, and Jeff. So Tim made the show, runs tech. He had a good year last year. And the late model, Robert Chapman. That was an epic race. That was one of our best ones. Great race. Robert takes the win. Grant was second. Eric third. Max 4. Alex, Chad, Brian, Doug, Justin, and Dustin. In SEB mod, Jason Van Hise took the win. Jody was second. Troy Alford rounded out the podium. Jason Walecki from up here in Wisconsin. Not coming this year. Disappointed. He was like, good, I went, made the show. I'm good. Mike was 5. Kane was 6. Tyler 7. Ty was 8. Jared 9. Trevor was 10. And short course A-Mod, Ryan Ralph took the win. Zach was second. Chad Jones was third. Cody 4. Derek 5. Brian 6. Cole 7. Brian 8. Alex 9. And David 10. And then Outlaw Sprint. That was crazy, crazy finish. If you look at the lap time here, Ryan Ralph, 45 laps in 3:57. Broke coming out of turn 2, 20 feet from the finish line? But he had a big enough lead. He was able to take the win. I remember I was looking at the computer because I saw him break, and I was trying to think of everything as it's going through my mind, making sure everything was right. But yeah, he held on for the win. Dustin was second, Chad third, Ross 4, Zach 5, Alex, Justin, Tyler, Grant, and Brian. That was our field of racers from our mains last year, and with some exciting races, and we're looking forward to doing it again this year. No, Tuesday is going to be seeding out of the gate. We're going to have practice on Monday night, so we should have 3 or 4 hours of practice, and then we'll do seeding out of the gate on Tuesday. So our hope is to do 2 rounds. Again, it's depending on heats and things like that, how everything goes. That is our goal. But practice on Monday, and then we're seeding in the morning. The great thing about this format is no matter where you see, like I said, if we got 100 guys in a class, first, 11th, 22nd, 33rd, stuff like that. So it's a varied ability. So if you have a bad, let's say seeding goes bad for you, whatever, you still could be rolling off third in your heat race if you're 35th in your division or whatever. So a bad seed does not, ruin your event for sure. Obviously it helps, but yeah, Steve, that worked out very well last year, and that's what we did, and we plan on doing that again. Again, it really depends on track conditions, things like that. With the change of tire this year from the rebars to the sprinters, that might make a more positive change on the track with the pins maybe digging it up more. We don't know until we're really there and we get the track built and things like that. So that is the plan as of now, but that may change. Clarence, I cannot make the Winter Nats, unfortunately, Otto. I am starting this Thursday. I am on the road for 2.5 months. I got gigs every weekend here in the States and around the world, so I will unfortunately not be able to make the Winter Nats and I won't get much racing in here in the first couple months. Well, folks, that's really all I had to talk about. We just wanted to cover everything. Again, all the rules are posted there on what you can do, what you can't do, things like that. We'll be checking voltage and all the normal things that we do. Something to remember if you've never been there before. With the cars, there's numerous things that can be checked. How many tech checks are there on a sprint car? 20 or so, like that. We don't check everything every time. So our tech crew on round 1 might be checking this on the wings or stuff. Round 2, they might check something else. So the reply that, well, I passed in round 1, why am I illegal now? It is not the tech crew's job to make your car legal. It is your job to make sure that your car meets all specifications and all rules. So if tech crew finds something that doesn't fit within the rules, that's on you to fix it. Again, that's another reason we're trying to switch to this Monday system so that we can be more focused on each car at a specific time, and instead of rushing and changing tech tools and things like that. So again, each time you come through, one time it might be spoiler and weight. Next time it might be, like I said, the wing and things like that. So you got to make sure all aspects are checked, because just because you make it past one round doesn't mean that you will the second round. Make sure you take note of the tire rules, the insert rules, everything like that. It's all covered in detail on the web page. So please make sure you do that. Something that's pretty cool. I don't know if you saw the video that we posted up a couple of days ago. Wits Racing. Last year, they brought over a couple cars, and they were fielding 2 cars over at the big show. And this year, a guy named Brian Dunlap, who's awesome, has worked with Wits Racing, Losi, and Cruise Pentagon. And they are all working together, and they are going to come over right now. Unofficially, it's Wednesday. They're running Tuesday and Thursday, so it looks like Wednesday they're going to come over and roll some cars over, get a chance to meet the drivers. Meet Cruise Pentagon is going to come over. You can ask him questions, take photos, get some autographs. So it's going to be pretty cool to have a 2-time NHRA champ Cruise over at our little world of racing. And just another cool thing that happens at the RC Chili Bowl. Last year, they rolled them over. It was a big success. Everybody got to see the cars up close and personal. And now we're going to do it again and have Cruise visiting on Wednesday. That's the plan right now. Nothing's official, but that's the plan. So it'd be pretty cool. So thanks to Wits Racing and Losi and Brian Dunlap, Cruise Pentagon, for making that happen. All right. Any other questions here before we sign off? I want to thank everybody for coming and joining us. We got quite a few people that were here, and this, as I mentioned earlier, this is our 9th year of our team taking over the Chili Bowl and being in charge of it, and it's just been absolute joy to watch it grow and grow. And we added some classes, and earlier when we added street stock, there's a lot of people that poo-poo, why you adding that class? That's a clubman, that's a backyard, something for at the local track. But we wanted to have a class where beginners and the intermediate drivers have a class to come and run. If you run street stock at your home track, why not have it at the biggest race in the world? So we added that. I think we had 30 or 40 racers the first year, and now, heck, I think we're up 70 or 80 entries in a street stock class. So it's really cool to see it all grow. The SEB mod's another great class to get new people kind of into it. It's kind of where the first idea of short course modified, when people threw it on their Traxxas Slashers or SE10, stuff like that. Unfortunately, it morphed into a whole nother bigger animal, but the SEB mod is still a cool class that takes just your short course truck and go racing with it. It's pretty cool. Mike, we got the non-wing class now, so it's tough. We'll see here with the new Magic class that's coming, but we have so many entries now. I don't know what we could how we could add another one. Jared Crummer says street stock and non-wing. You're going to send it. I'm sure you will. Doc Love, what is up, Doc? How are you? Doc Love, he is the man. He's got his own radio show on the East Coast, and a long-time RC announcer. And good to have you on here, Doc. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a very merry and happy New Year. All that kind of good stuff. Jeff Munson says thumbs up for street stock and BMod. Absolutely. Weight rule, Justin. All that should be. I don't have all of them off the top of my head, but everything is covered there on the websites. Matt Perry, how are you? Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Absolutely. Well, next week, yeah, I guess it is. Just a couple of days. Like I said, I'm wheels up on Thursday, heading down, and we start the build this weekend. So it's here before you know it. Normally single file, Benjamin. Gary Sturdy, how are you? Yes, I'm working on that, Gary. I think I'm still considering a lot of stuff here, but I think we'll probably just keep it open tire since that's going to be the easiest for everybody to get. If you guys wonder what I'm talking about, we're holding a race down in Brisbane, Australia, the first week of March, an on-road race. And we're going to do, they got some jumps, so we're going to add some street stock or some short course street stock. See, my mind's chili bowl right now. So we're going to I go to organize a race in Brisbane, Australia at the start of March. So we're going to run some short course down there. So it'll be fun. Kind of like that, they run them in there at the Indy cars and stuff like that, on the asphalt track with jumps. So it'll be pretty cool. I'm going to run that. So unfortunately, Gary's son is going to whoop me, but it's still going to be fun. Johnny, 9 a.m. on Monday is when everything happens. Sonny, how are you? Tori, my pleasure. Ross, yes, we're going to have practice on Monday, Tuesday. We're hoping to do 2 rounds of seating practice. The seating is based like we did last year. Your 5 fastest laps averaged together. Instead of 3 consecutive like we used to do previously, we'll take your 5 fastest laps through the course of the whole run, so you can come in and make an adjustment, things like that, and use your average time. Take those 5 laps, the system creates an average, and that will be your seating time, and sets up the heats and used for tiebreaker and things like that. Once we know how many heats and things like that, we'll know how long the day is going to go, how often we have to do rebuilds and things like that. But we're going to do our best to get 2 rounds in. Daryl Silva, how you doing, buddy? Long time. Man, back in the carpet oval days, Daryl was the man. That's for sure. It would be great to have you. Absolutely. Pat, yes, we do need you and your crew to be there bright and shiny on Sunday, please. We thank you very much, Pat. You guys are the best. All right. Aaron Rykow, how are you? Yeah, I was safe on I didn't have any problems. On my when I was up on vacation. So yeah, Roger, not random. 5, your fastest 5 laps will be averaged together. The best. No, the heats will be set up the same. The heats are just set up kind of random. However, the computer does it. I try to move guys around that maybe would be back to back. So if you're not in the last heat of street stock and the first heat of non-wing, things like that, for seating, I'll move you around and stuff like that. Kind of give you a chance to breathe and get ready. But it's pretty much just Doesn't. Yeah, with the seating we do. That's what we do to set the heats. Again, seating is just practice, so we don't treat it as a race, things like that. We're not out there calling lap time, stuff like that. It's just practice. We want everybody to be able to get some practice. No, each round of seating is it's within its own. So um, again, if we're able to get 2 rounds in, then we run the first round. That round, it'll look at your fastest 5 laps, add them together, and then when we do the second round, it's just a whole nother practice round. So they don't combine them or anything like that. Nothing to worry about like that. All right. Well, that's about all I got right now, folks. So we'll upload this and put it on the Facebook page to share for the people that didn't get a chance to do it. Last call if you guys got any other questions. Otherwise, we're looking forward to seeing everybody on Monday, 9 a.m. The doors open, and we'll begin load in, get registration going, check in, get the pre-tech going. Again, biggest change that everybody's going to face this year is by class, but I think it really is going to be something that works much better. So I thank everybody for coming and being part. Wish everybody safe travels. I know up here in Wisconsin, it's been kind of freezing, rainish, and yucky throughout the course of yesterday and today. So I hope everybody has a good trip. Safe travels. We're pretty much coast to coast. We got from all over USA and Canada. So the Canadians are making their trip down too. So I thank everybody for coming. Thanks to all our sponsors for making it possible to bring the big show. Our 9th year of running it, and we look forward to seeing everybody. It's for 2023 RC Chili Bowl, Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's going to happen. We're going to have everything broadcast and live. It's going to be at rcchilibowl.liverc.com, and we'll have video and all the laps and all the information, all that kind of good stuff. So I hope everybody has a good trip. And we look forward to seeing everybody Monday, 9 a.m. Doors open for the 2023 RC Chili Bowl. Have a good night, everybody. See you on Monday.